Welcome to Learn Physics with Jade. Once again, I am Alina Jade Haring, and I'm in front of you to learn, to teach, and to give an example problems in physics. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. So the first problem that we're going to solve is comes from two-dimensional and projectile. So a ball is kicked with an initial velocity of 30 meters per second at an angle of 60 degrees with an horizontal. Determine its time of flight, the horizontal displacement on the peak height of the ball. So the first thing we need to do is to get the horizontal value. So to get that, we're going to use the formula cosine, angle, and then the meter per second, just like this. VIX. Okay. VIX. So we're going to use cosine, angle, angle, and the meter per second. Here we go. And then we're just going to put the given into this. Substitute. So the angle is 60 degrees. Let me just copy this. 60 degrees. And the meter per second is 30. Yan. So now, we're going to solve it. You can just solve it directly in calculator. So, this is equals to 15 meter per second. So now we have our horizontal value. So the next one is we're going to get the vertical value or the VIY. For solving the VIY or the vertical, we're going to use VIY and cosine and sine. We're just going to change the cosine into sine like this. This is the vertical formula. Okay. So just distribute the values once again. So the angle is 60 degrees, while the m over s is 30. So now let's solve it through calculator. So this is 25.98 meter per second. 25.98 meter per second. So these are vertical value. Now let's move on solving the T up. For solving the T up, we're going to use this formula, which is this. Just a second. T up equals V VIY over the gravity. So what's the value of the gravity? It is 9.8. Gravity 9.8 meter per second squared. My gosh. So it is like this. So let's substitute the values. So the value of VIY is VIY 25.98, and then the value of the gravity is 9.8 meter per second squared. So the unit of this is meter per second. Yan. So let's solve this. So the value of the T up is 2.65 seconds. As I've said, just compute it directly in calculator, so it will be more precise. Yan. For the next one, we're going to solve for the T total. And the value for the T total is the formula, T total, the formula for this is T up times 2. Ayan. So for solving this, just substitute again. So the value of T up is 2.65. And here we go. The value of T total is, so the value, the 2, this 2, the value of times 2 is constant. It is always constant whenever you solve the T total. So the value is 5.3 seconds. Here you go. So let's move on. And now let's solve for the peak. For solving the peak, we're going to use this formula, which is the VIY T, this is time, plus 1/2, and the gravity, G, the time again, and then squared. Here we go. This is the formula for getting the peak. So let's distribute the values. So VIY is our VIY is 25.98. So let's put it here. 25 point. Oh my god. How am I supposed to? 25.90. 25.98 meter per seconds, and then the time is 2.65 seconds, and then plus 1/2, and then the value of our gravity in here would be negative 9.8 meter per second squared, and then the time again, which is the 2.65 seconds, 2.65 seconds, and then don't forget the squared, and then let's solve this. You can solve this directly in calculator, but so yeah, just put all of this in your calculator, and your calculator will do its thing. So the value is The value of this is 34.436 meter. And to round it off, since we only need two decimal, it is 34.44. Here you go. So this is the value of our peak. And lastly, the distance. The formula for our distance is VIX distance, which is also known for the symbol of X. VIX times times the time. So here we go. We're going to distribute the values. So the VIX value is, okay, let me check it. The VIX value is 15 meter per second. 15 meter per seconds. And then the value of our time is, so the time that we're going to use is the value of t total, okay? So it is 5.3 seconds. 5 5.3 seconds. Okay, here we go. So let's solve this through calculator. So our distance, the value of our distance is 79.5 meters. So that's it. So our next problem comes from Newton's law, specifically in second law. So the problem is find the accelerations produced when a 20 net force is exerted on both 6 kilograms and 18 kilograms objects. So let's provide the givens first. So our net force is 20 n, and our so the first mass is 6 kilogram mass, 6 kilogram, and the second mass is 18 kilogram, 18 kilogram. So ang acceleration ang nawawala in this problem. Okay, here we go. So this is a very easy problem since we're only getting the acceleration. But since we do have two mass, we're going to solve them each to get their acceleration. So the formula for acceleration is F net over m. F net over m. So we're just simply dividing. So in the first mass, let's start with the 6 kilogram. So the F net is 20 n, and the first mass is 6 kilogram. There we go. So it will be equal to 3.33 meter per second squared. For the second mass, we're still gonna use this formula. But since the second mass is 18 kilogram, we're going to change this into 18. Okay, here we go. And then solve this. So 20 net n over 18 kilograms is equals to 1.11 meter per second squared. That's it. So this is the uh, accelerations on 6 kilograms and 18 kilograms object. Oh my god. But here we go. That's it. So our third problem comes from one-dimensional kinematics. So, sa kinematics, dito papasok yung big four equations. Ito siya. Kinematic equations for distance bf squared bf distance again. So, ayan. So, gagamitin natin yan for our today's problem. So, this is our problem. A motor accelerates uniformly from 19.4 meter per second to 70.2 meter per second in 3.6 to 7 seconds. So, determine the distance traveled. So, let's identify the values first. So, in here, we're going to identify the values and then let's identify the equation that we're going to use. So we have a VO. So V0 it is equals to 19.4 meter per second. RBF is 70.2 70.2. And also we also have the time, which is the 3.67 seconds. Time 3.67 seconds. So now let's identify what equation we're going to do. So yung nawawala daw is determine the distance. So distance ang nawawala. Distance. Okay. So, 'di ba meron tayong dalawang equations na pwedeng ipanghanap ng distance dito sa Big Four. So, let's identify which one sa dalawa. So, remember we have our V0, BF, time. So, let's go. So, the formula or equation that we're going to use is uh, this. So, let's move on. So, let's solve for the distance. But first, this is the formula that we're going to use. Distance, VO, V0 or V0. V0. Oh my god. Plus VF over 2 times T or 2 times time. 2 times time. Okay, here we go. Now let's distribute the values. For the V0, it is 19.4 meter per second. And the VF is 70.2 meter per second. 70.2 meter per second. For the time, it is 3.67. Now, let's solve this. Just solve this directly on your own calculators. So, this will be equals to 18.137 meters. So, we're just going to need 2 decimal. So, it will be 18.14 meter. So this is it. This is the final distance of that traveled. This is the final distance that the motor traveled. There you go. So for our last problem, it would be measurements conversion. So in our problem, it states here that Alan bought 22 ounces of spices for $6 per pound. How much did Alan spend? So 22 ounces will be equal to number of pounds. So let's do this. 22 ounces is equal to number of pounds would be equal to number of pounds. So here we go. So first of all, 16 ounces equal 16 ounces is equals to 1 pound. So we're going to use 16 ounces to convert it into 1 pound and into pound. Okay, let's go. So 22 ounces. Okay. Let me just do this for one pound, and then 16 ounces. 16 ounces. These two are over. Let's just change the color of the marker. Over. Here you go. And we're going to cross multiply it. Here you go. And then to solve this, since they're both ounces, let's cancel this out. Cancel. And then 22 times 1, it is equals to 22, of course, over 16. So 22 divided by 16 is equals to 1.375 pounds. There you go. So this is the number of pounds. Now let's move on to how much. So let's just multiply the pounds into $6. So here we go. $6. Okay. 1.375 times $6. There you go. And then it will be equal to 8.25. $8.25. So he spent, okay, let me just wait a second. So Alan spent $8.25 when he bought 22 ounces of spice for $6 per pound. So this is what Alan spent when he bought spices. Here you go. So that is our lesson, or the our lesson for today's amazing teaching. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.